Hey friends, and welcome back to Channel Surf. If this is your first time here, I'm Jazz and I watch a shit ton of TV. And today I am dressed in my fur headband. I have my fur muffs on because we're going to the Canadian wilderness. Okay, we are talking to the latest family to leave the competition show Extracted. I'm so sad to see them go. I'm happy to have them here. But I feel like they were going to give me exactly what I was looking for when it comes to like good reality TV, especially on a show like Extracted. So without further ado, guys, let's welcome the Talavera family, Analyse,
Woo!
Stacy, and Jessica-Rey, our survivalists. Hello, ladies.
Hey, Jazz.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. So, yes, let's have a moment of silence for
I know.
you no longer being on the show. I first have to say, like, when we come into this episode, it seems like everybody, some people are struggling, some people are not. Before you know about the crate that you're receiving, how are you feeling?
I was so drained emotionally and mentally. Obviously, I cry a lot. That's me, my normal life. Day to day, I cry every emotion, happy, mad, sad, excited, like laughing. Like that's just me. But I was just so mentally and emotionally drained.
Yeah.
You don't know how long you're going to be out there for. So it was
Yeah.
the easiest thing. I don't know how to explain it.
It's a hard one, I bet. And Annalise, you are a former Big Brother contestant. You
Yes.
and Stacy, your mom, you guys are sitting cushy, sitting pretty in HQ, with heat and real food, not potatoes.
Yeah.
Not potatoes and crickets. What is it
Right.
like in HQ? This early in the competition, everybody's still getting to know each other. What's the experience like? Annalise, I'll go to you first. Were there any parallels with the Big Brother house in coming into HQ?
Yes. So at first, I actually felt really comfortable. It felt very normal and familiar to me just because it was reminding me exactly of when I first went into Big Brother. You're meeting all these new people, getting to know them. And it made it so much easier for me to make alliances with other people. They didn't really show, me and my mom talking with other teammates and forming alliances. But because of Big Brother, it made it so much easier, because other families who haven't been on other shows, like, making an alliance is new,
Mhm,
it's like, how do
mhm.
you just randomly go up to someone and be like, "Hey, you wanna work together?" Like, it's a little different for other people, but for me, it just came so natural, and it was so normal, and I was like, it made it a lot easier, I think, for me and my mom to feel a little bit more comfortable in HQ and kind of easier for me to navigate this new show because it just felt very familiar to Big Brother.
Yeah, I understand that. And Miss Stacy, what was it like for you walking into this environment?
It was a little different. I obviously don't live in her world. So, like the cameras and the lights, when you first get there, it's very overwhelming. And, there's all these new people. And I know she's getting, to her location as we're walking in HQ, because as every family walks in, your loved one's on the screen getting dropped off by this plane. It was surreal. It was different. It was very cold and we were hungry. It's, at the end of the day. And
Okay, but we weren't as cold and hungry as she was.
no, I know. I hate to say that. I'm sorry I even say that, but
Okay.
for us, it was very cool.
It's funny because like right before we go on the show, we had to keep reminding my mom like, okay, there's cameras there. She says
know.
whatever comes to her mind. Like
I can tell. I can
My
tell.
mom is very unfiltered and just says things. So we were a little scared. We had to keep reminding her, like, just be
you are
careful.
all the mom.
But Jazz, I gotta tell you, I'm not fake. I'm one of those people. I'm not fake. I can't be fake. So,
Mhm.
so there are some shows like Big Brother. I don't know if I could ever do that two face like people do. And I told them when they kept saying that, I said, okay, I will try to, mind my P's and Q's, but I'm not gonna be fake. I am who I am, and my face doesn't hide. So
Yeah.
I can't hide. And we
Yeah.
knew going in that's how it was gonna have to be. So
No, I totally picked that up from you. I was like, she is gonna give it to you straight. And there were some moments in this episode where I'm like, oh, she's like playing hardball. Like she really
Yeah.
you really wanted Jessica-Rey to stay in this experience and yeah, evolve. So yeah, you do not have to tell me that you keep it real. I was able to read
Okay.
that. I loved it. I loved it. So we're talking about episode 2 here, and the challenge for episode 2 was that the families in HQ, so Annalise and Miss Stacy, you guys get to go into the supply room. So the whole idea of this challenge is there's a family that gets to volunteer. They get to go into the supply room. There's a map in the supply room. The map is turned to the correct location of a high calorie crate. But when you get in there, you get to decide if you want to turn it to
Right.
point to a low calorie crate and deceive the family that's coming in after
Right.
you, and you will get to choose that family that comes in. So this challenge for me, I fully expected more people to be deceptive.
Right.
Right?
That's what we keep saying.
Yeah, because if you choose to deceive, you get to get an extra item for your family member. And I'm like, we're still so early in the game that relationships are not fully formed. I was like, of course, everybody's going to deceive. Like, people need fire, people need sleeping bags.
Right.
But you guys are the only ones to actually deceive.
Right.
You guys are the only ones to actually deceive, which means that you're going to get an extra item for Jessica-Rey. When you did that and you chose to deceive, did you feel like it was going to put a target on your back once the rest of HQ found out about it?
At first, I didn't think so because I genuinely believed that there was going to be more people that were deceiving each other. Look, like me and my mom, when we first came in, we said, we're going to do anything to get my sister whatever she needs. So if we need to deceive people, then we need to deceive people. When I was on Big Brother, I feel like I didn't make big moves. You know, I didn't do anything. And so coming on to this show, I was like, you know what? We're going to be cutthroat. We're going to be making moves. We're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure my sister's set up fine. So going into it, we thought that other people were going to deceive. And then when we came back to HQ and we realized we were the only family,
Whoa.
looking at each other, we're like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have. But also, I mean, at the end of the day, my sister ended up getting things that she wanted. So we don't regret it. And it was exactly what we wanted to do. But I thought maybe we'd get a little target just because, you know, some people knew that I was on Big Brother. So I was thinking, they're probably thinking, oh, she's really here to game and whatnot. But also my sister was just very emotional and was always like, sometimes okay, sometimes not okay. So I thought that might be able to help us because in their heads, they'd be thinking, oh, well, she's kind of weak. We could leave that family for now because she's a little bit weak.
Right.
So I wasn't, it was like 50-50, I feel like.
I feel like people coming in assumed that Sandra and Nina would be like wanting to play harder and wanting to be the deceptive one. So I will say that's also something that I picked up. I was like, oh, Annalise and Stacy are actually who they think Nina and Sandra are.
Well, it's funny. It's because Sandra is, you know, the queen of Survivor. So I think her going in, she's probably thinking, okay, well, everyone's going to think that we're going to be playing this big game. Let's lay low for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Sandra laid low the first few days.
right.
Yeah.
And then we came guns blazing, which is honestly what I wanted, which is what I wanted.
I'd do it again, Jazz. I would do it again.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would do it again.
Yeah, I think in any instance, that's why I was surprised. If I was there, my family member was out there, I'm like, whenever I can get them something extra,
Right?
Exactly.
You know, lie, cheat, deceive, whatever I need to do to make sure my loved one has what they need. So I completely understood that. And there are some other players that are playing like more of an aggressive game as well, like Luke's family.
Oh, right.
They are playing pretty aggressively. Like in episode 1, we saw him like out the gate try to frame Sandra.
I'm also like a business.
There's a difference between, I think, like playing aggressive and then just being like full on. I don't even know what you would call it.
Necessary, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Like, it's the first night. You know, I think Luke could have survived without a blanket. But then to set up Sandra, come on.
It makes for good TV though.
That's dirty play. That's dirty play. Right?
It did. Yeah, I was tweeting that. I was like, Daniel is doing too much already. He's trying to frame Sandra.
Okay, maybe the third night, sure, but it was literally the first night. I'm like,
exactly.
A little
try to get to know people first. Yeah. And then in this episode, we saw them like really try to push their way into the supply room. What was the overall sentiment of that family in HQ? Because I feel like that could probably rub people the wrong way so early in the game.
It did.
Yeah.
No one was a fan of them. I feel like right when they walked in, I just feel like they just gave this vibe, and everyone. No one was a fan.
They were the last family to walk in, so kind of all eyes were on them anyhow. And Daniel came in hot, like just immediately trying to game, which, you know, everybody has their own gameplay. I'm not saying that's bad. That was his style, and it started rubbing people the wrong way. They're like, okay, he's coming in hot, too fast, too much. 6 hours later, he broke the glass. So then it was like all targets were on them.
Well, we're all trying to get to know each family and talking about family. He's just going straight in talking about game. And we're like, whoa, I forgot what your name is. You know what I mean? Like, it's way too fast.
Yeah. Did he recognize you, Annalise, from Big Brother?
I actually, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really talk to them.
Okay.
I just didn't really vibe with him.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if he recognized me from Big Brother or not, but I know there was a few people that did.
Okay, and I only ask that because they seem like people who watch a lot. At least Daniel
Right,
watch a lot of competition series. So
right, right,
because the way he came in and he was already on it, I was like, I wonder if
right.
he knew about you.
Well, it's really funny because in HQ, me and Sandra would talk a little bit, and we were
Mhm.
convinced that they were on some other show because of how quickly he was
Oh.
gaming, because that's just not natural for people who haven't been on gaming shows, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a new language, it's foreign, like, people don't really know how to talk game, but he just came in talking game straight away, so we were thinking, "Okay, maybe there's 3 people that are from other reality shows," and
Right.
I guess he wasn't on anything, he just probably
Yeah.
watched a lot.
So Jessica-Rey, we see in this episode, Annalise and Miss Stacy. I'm gonna throw you guys under the bus a little bit, okay?
We do have to be together after this. So hopefully it's not gonna be
Not nothing crazy. So we see you guys kind of poke fun a little bit at the fact that Jessica-Rey was like out of breath when she was walking to get the crate. Not in a malicious way. Not in a malicious way, Jessica-Rey. I want to let you know this because I don't want any family drama. But I wanted to talk to you, Jessica-Rey, just about preparation for the show. You guys know that you're going and you're going to be in the outdoors. It is all this like physical. Did you do any preparation for the show in terms of just learning how to be outdoors or anything?
So actually my fiance is super outdoorsy. So he helped me with like my fire making. He got me a ferro rod. He was teaching me. He bought a survival book for me, which I literally read through and through. His dad took me into on a hiking trail that's out here and showed me how to make a lean-to shelter, which is the actual shelter I made. And he said, this is like what you need for no materials, no supplies. This will help you get through at least the first couple nights. Then you just build off of it, which was like the most helpful thing ever. I didn't go on hikes because it was in the middle of the summer and it's so hot here, like triple digits.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to hike. And like when I'd come home, it'd be dark, right? Because I work pretty late. So I just did the survival. I practiced the survival aspect of it, not necessarily like hiking and practicing that, which let me tell you something. Okay. I actually really didn't stop to drink water at all going there. First of all, okay, 2-hour hike. Like I hurt my ankle. There was your knees breaking, your ankles breaking. Trees are hitting you in the face. I mean, you're also looking out for bears, right? So you have so much going on. So apologies that I was breathing heavy, but oh my god, I didn't stop to get a water break. And even coming back, I like went through. So I like to see them try that.
Yeah.
Well, girl, I work out every day, so
It's different.
I'll be okay.
You're doing a 2-hour hike on a place you're so unfamiliar with. Like you pray you don't get lost from the pack if you're together, like it's crazy.
Yeah, actually, anyone that is watching this, if you plan to go and extract it, maybe practice on the elliptical. I feel like that gives you like a lot of practice.
Yes, Stairmaster. I could
Yes.
have done that. I didn't because I have no idea what to expect in
Yeah.
that way. So I just knew practice shelter, practice fire, practice eating bugs, like practice that stuff. But I guess practice hiking too.
Listen, no judgment over here. As a girly, I breathe hard walking up and down my stairs, and I also work out. So it's just when you're going up an incline, though, it's hard.
It is different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very different.
that's
It's
true.
very
On
different.
no food for
But also
days.
you forget,
Yeah,
like you have to record yourself, right? So you have to bring your little tripod with you, and you have to communicate to your family. And you're also talking to the other survivalists. We got to be together for the first time, so we were all out of breath, just like talking to each other, So it was a little bit of that too.
Yeah, it's okay. And speaking of meeting up with the other survivalists, so we see that you guys finally get to have some sort of community out here. And when you are meeting them, you tell them that your sister was a contestant on Big Brother. Now, I want to know from you, was that just like a proud sister moment, or was that like a little bit of strategy? Like, hey, I might have a leg up because my sister's actually already been on a competition series.
Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with a leg up. Everybody was actually talking about how they got on the show. And so people were like, oh, we got contacted, or we applied, we watched the first season. And so then it came to me, I was like, oh, my sister got contacted. And they're like, oh, how? And then I explained, like, she was on Big Brother before. But I figured people were probably going to see her and know, or somehow it was going to come up. But you also do forget you're kind of being recorded, because you're now just having a normal conversation. You're trying to build camaraderie and just connect with this person that you almost feel like you know them right away because you're in the same experience. So like, talking to my friends, honestly, and I didn't even think about it until right now when you just said that. I'm like, I didn't even think of that. Like, they could hear.
Me and my mom were in HQ watching this, and I was freaking out because, of course, they have the loudspeakers on, and all you oh, my sister was on Big Brother, and I had only talked to a few people about it because they had asked me. One, when I was on Big Brother, I wasn't someone that made moves or did really anything. So, I feel like I'm not someone to really be remembered, which is fine. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything until someone talks to me about it or whatever. So not everyone in HQ knew that, I was on Big Brother. And then on top of it, it didn't help that me and my mom just screwed over a family.
Yeah.
We're the only one. So I'm like, okay, great.
But I also,
melted in our seat.
I also had no idea what's going on in
Blanket
HQ,
over
so
my
I had no
head.
idea they had just screwed somebody over,
Right. Yeah, that moment in the episode when they hear in HQ that you're on Big Brother and everybody, like, the editing is so funny because it's like everybody's like, what? Oh my God.
It's so funny. I didn't even think, I would never even think that they put that in there.
Did they show us, like, literally start to just, like, we were
I
like,
was
I'll tell you, you guys actually got a very fierce edit. Like, every time the camera pans, it's like unbothered, fierce. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, we're just sitting here. We are going to get Jessica-Rey what she needs at any cost. And it just is what it is. Like I said, I love that type of reality TV archetype where you just go in and you own who you are. That's what I was getting from you guys on the show. Really.
Oh,
That's
I
why I
love
wanted to see more. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I do have to say, I'm not sure if they show this part, but when we were watching it, my sister ends up meeting up with Polly at first, and we knew that we screwed over Polly, and she had her crate was in a different direction than my sister. So I'm not sure if they show it, but me and my mom were freaking out the whole time. We're like, great, we just screwed over Polly, and now she's gonna screw over herself because she's gonna end up at the wrong crate.
Yeah, I was gonna follow Polly to Polly's crate, but luckily I went to my own crate.
Right. Luckily she ended up meeting up with more people, and I was like, okay, please talk with Luke because I think Luke has the right one. So please just go with him. Don't go with whoever else is with you. So I don't know if they showed that, but inside HQ, me and mom were like, great. We tried to screw over someone and we screwed ourselves. It ended up working out, so it was fine.
And then Stacy and Analyse, speaking of Polly's family was pissed when they realized that you guys decided to choose deception. And they said that they wish that you would have talked to them about it. Did you guys think about that? Like maybe giving them a heads up, or was it just you were in your own world about the decision?
Well, we couldn't give them a heads up because we didn't know we could screw them over. I mean, if you didn't give them a heads up prior to them seeing it, yes. But when we went in there and we had to screw over a family, we had to decide which family is the strongest. We could do the least damage to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Polly, it's like we weren't out for blood or anything.
Right.
We hardly knew these people. And we had to choose a family that we thought was very, strong, wouldn't affect them if it did very minor. So we choose Polly's family. And we actually did like Molly and Bailey, who were in the HQ with us. Didn't have close relationships with them. And yes, when we came out, that is one thing I wish I would have pulled them aside and say, hey, look, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change things. I want to be that clear. I would do it again because I was here for her and I'm going to do what I got to do. But yes, in hindsight, I wish I would have said, hey, guys, that would have been more respectful, probably.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I have two things to say.
Okay.
One, when we came out and we were all sitting down watching it, we thought there was going to be more people. So I thought it wasn't going to be that big of a sting to them because they'd be like, oh, okay, we see other people did it. But unfortunately, we were the only ones. And two, Mom, I kept saying, Mom, we have to go talk to them. We have to go talk to them. And you were like, no, you go. You wanted me to do the talking. And I felt
You're the social butterfly. I'm not.
I didn't know what
I
to
can't
do.
hide this.
I was your servant. You had me go do everything. You had me go make the alliance. You had me go get you gummy worms all the time. You had me doing everything. And I was like, I don't know how to go about this conversation. I need my mom to help me. And she just wanted me to go off. So sadly, Bailey's the one that ended up coming up to me and saying, you know what, it's okay, which was super respectful. But it made me feel 10 times worse because I'm like, great, we didn't even go up to them and talk to them.
That's true. Bailey was very respectful and she's like, no worries, I don't know what their interview is going to show or what they said in the annex, but yes, she came up to us and that wasn't right. We should have went up to her and she was very understanding. And
well, I will say I can't wait for you guys to see.
Oh,
I can't wait for you guys to see the episode. So because of this though, right, the people in HQ, they feel like you guys are a little more cutthroat. And then Sandra and Nina actually feel less pressure though, because that's who people assume they were. So they start to feel a little pressure come off of them because now everybody in HQ is kind of looking at Analyse and Miss Stacy. I was like, in my mind, and I know this is like a fantasy land that I lived in. I was hoping for some type of alliance between you guys and Sandra and Nina. Like, I really just like the reality TV
Right.
competition series alliance. Was there any thought to partnering up with Sandra Analyse, since you know that you both come from the same arena?
Yes, 1000%. When we first saw Sandra and stuff, of course, I was a little scared, but then me and my mom would talk about it and be like, I think it's a good idea that we, team up with Sandra, because one, I was scared of Sandra. So I was like, I'd rather be on her side. But it's actually funny because we did end up making an alliance. It was me, Sandra, Nina, my mom, and Dayton and Alex. So, and Carly and Emily. So we were actually all in an alliance, and we made an alliance. I think it was that night that happened, that competition happened. And so I was so excited because I was waiting. I didn't want to approach Sandra right away because I was like, I don't want her to think I'm like gaming hard. You know what I mean? But it just kind of all happened naturally. And I think we were just like, our families were just drawn to each other. So when we made this alliance, I was so excited because I'm like, yes, like it's about to get good. And then the next day we ended up.
Annalise and Nina talked a lot. They shared a lot. They sat across from each other. So it was just a natural flow, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sad because I genuinely think that if me and Sandra and Nina and my mom like really teamed up, like I think we really could have done damage. I do, yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel you on being scared of Sandra. I had her on to talk like before the season started. We had a chat. And when she came on, I was like, it's Sandra. Oh my God. Wait, don't sweat. But she's actually so cool. Like, she was so disarming and so nice. I was like, wait, you're not as intimidating as you seem on TV.
Right. And it's so funny because I've never watched Survivor ever. The only season that I've ever watched Survivor, my sister showed me was one with Sandra. And I remember her telling me that Sandra was a really good player and a dirty player. So right when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, it's Sandra. I was so scared and intimidated. And I'm like, this is a queen. I don't even know how to go about talking game with her and stuff like that. But I love Sandra and Nina so much. Sandra reminds me a lot of my mom. So I think that's why we were all just like kind of drawn towards each other. Yeah.
Yeah, two women who say it like it is. I don't know if you guys know, her daughter Nina also is a reality competition.
Yeah.
She won The Anonymous, which was another really good show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was on Survivor, and then she was on a show called The Anonymous, and she was really good on that one. That is one strategizing family.
Yeah, 1000%. That's why it's okay to be scared of them.
Yes, absolutely. So Jessica-Rey, you are going to get your crate, okay? That water, though, when you were walking in that water, I felt so bad for you. And I have like a random question. It might be a little weird.
Go ahead.
What did you feel like beneath your little toesies when you were walking in that water?
The first thing I'm thinking, even though I know there's nothing, I'm like crocodile. I don't know, because like I lived in Florida for a year, so there were swamps, so I'm just thinking it's thick and it feels like there's actually, also I'm thinking dead bodies, right? But like you feel like there's people underneath you like pulling you down, and you can't go forward, you can't reach it. Like, exactly like quicksand. You just look and it's all this like dirty stuff coming up to you, and it almost feels like there's seaweed in there too that's trapping you. It is the craziest feeling, experience, and you just want to get out of there as quick as possible, but you literally can't move, so your body is going so slow. It was freaky, it was creepy, and I would normally never do that in my life, but I was actually fearless. Luke was like, let's just wait and see if they find the correct crates, right? Whatever. And I'm like, no, let's just go now. So I like rip my clothes off and I would just go. So, no, I'll go first. Trying to be a gentleman. I'm like, no, I'm going. And so I just went in, like, fearless. When I got in, I was like, oh shit. But like when I went in, before I was so excited to do it, but it is creepy and weird in the swampy water.
I know that you were so brave for that. I used to go to camp. I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I used to go to the summer camp like 3 hours north, like northern Wisconsin, on this lake, right? And they took us off site one time to go to this lake called Devil's Lake of all things. Okay, not good at all. But I remember like swimming in the lake. When you're a kid, you're really fearless. I must have tried to stand up in that lake, and there was exactly what you described. It felt like seaweed and all that. I freaked out. I'm like, get me home now. Call my mom and dad now. Where y'all? Y'all are trying to kill me.
It was so crazy. It was just, and because it's pitch dark in that water, so you can't see a thing. So you really have to see what's there. And I'm like, don't know, don't want to know. I just need to get my crap and get out of here.
Exactly. So you did get a high calorie crate though, which I was really excited to see. Because the way you chomped down on that sweet potato, I was like, I feel like that is like a feast.
Right.
It was like, so we had no idea what was going to be in a crate, obviously. But when we all opened it, we're like, let's open it together. And we saw it. I'm like, oh my God, a sweet potato. That was like the last thing I would have thought. And I honestly didn't think we even get food that soon. I really thought it'd be a while. Yeah. And Polly was like, you can eat this raw. And that should have been my first clue that she was actually more experienced than she let on. But she was really great. But she's like, you guys can eat this raw. Are you trying to poison us so we get sick? You know, we don't know. It was a joke. But we all took a bite. The best sweet potato I have ever had in my life. I went to my campsite, did my fire, cooked, got a rock, cut it, cooked it over the campfire. Like, I was having a blast with that sweet potato. I was like in love with that sweet potato. My favorite thing from the show.
Yeah, no, it's always rewarding to watch you guys get to eat something after being out there for so long. Yeah. I do want to talk about, just two things leading up to what we know eventually happens this episode. So we see you really struggling a lot with the loneliness. Aspect of being out there by yourself, especially after seeing people and being in community, and then you go right back to your campsite alone. And then it's like that same night, it was like the coldest night that you guys had. So it seemed like you had everything you needed to survive out there, but by that next day, you were completely just tapped out. And I want to understand, how hard was it for you to really feel like, okay, I'm at my wit's end and I'm ready to go? Was there any moment where you were questioning that?
Yeah, so the third day was actually my absolute hardest. The third day, I was like, oh my God, I might. That was the first day I really was like debating. I almost said it in the camera. I had went to the lake like 2 times to almost say it, but I'm like, no, just get through it. And I made it through that. And then like the 4th day was better. But I was like sleeping on rocks. It was so hard. I couldn't dig them out. So I'm okay, I need to move my campsite so I can sleep more comfortably at night, which will help me last longer. I totally redid my shelter, and that wiped me out. That was so exhausting. And so when I redid it, when I got back from the challenge, it was never warm enough. So it was even colder than the first night. They never showed, but the first night was treacherous. Like, it was freezing. Like, your body couldn't stop shaking. And that last night I was there was even worse than that. Yeah. And so it was that. My body was sore. I was the adrenaline dump from seeing everybody to being alone again. And you don't know how long you're alone for until like you see people again. It was just, that was what did it for me. It was just like all those things together. And I just couldn't stand not being with people and not having sunlight. It was making me depressed really badly.
Yeah. And then Annalise and Miss Stacy, we see you guys in HQ really struggling with the decision to pull her out or not. And, we get a very like edited version of that. Was it a longer decision and a longer talk that you guys had?
Yeah. 1,000%. My mom did not want to pull her whatsoever, but I was the one that was like, come on, let's pull her. My mom's like, no. So it was definitely a lot longer than it showed. But at the end of the day, we just
didn't want to keep taking things from people that we know are gonna, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that. Right. And even though I wanted her to stay, ultimately she's the one who has to stay, right? Yeah. So all I can do is either make her suffer longer or extract her. Yeah. And she already got a tarp because rain was coming. We saw rain was coming, so we wanted to get her that tarp. She got the tarp, and I knew she was pretty checked out. I already felt bad about giving her the tarp when someone's out, so I didn't want to keep taking.
Yeah, the one thing we agreed on is that we'll never, if I'm ready to go, we never want to take supplies away from somebody else. If I know I'm still gonna have to be extracted, because it was so hard out there that I would never want to take away from somebody else. So that was
it. Yeah, we knew.
We see that you were extracted. Any regrets now that the experience is over?
I mean, hindsight 2020, now that I'm safe and I'm home, I'm like, oh my God, I wish it lasted longer. But I knew in that moment, like, I couldn't. Like, I still know, like, that was the decision for me, the right decision. But of course, I do wish I would have lasted longer to give them more of a shot and to see how much further I could have gone. But it was the best time of our lives, my life, like something we never thought we'd ever do. And I would love to do it again if they let us.
We're thankful. We're just thankful for the opportunity and the experience we have with each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
and our cast is awesome. Like, their whole like team, like everybody's great.
Right.
I love that. Well, ladies, it was so nice to have you guys on to talk about Extracted. Like I said, I'm sad to see you go. we're really happy that we were introduced to you guys as a family. Like I said, you got a very fierce edit. I hope to see y'all soon on another show because I feel
Hopefully
like,
I know, fingers crossed.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So,
thanks for having us.
I know, thank you so much.
thank you guys so much for tuning into my extracted chat with the Talavera family. That was Analyse, Mom Stacy, and our survivalist Jessica-Rey. It was so lovely to chat with those beautiful ladies, and I'm so sad to see them go. But there are still some families left in the game. Okay, so we have to keep watching to see who is going to make it to the end. Who is the real survivalist there? Extracted airs every Monday on Fox at 8/7 Central, but you can watch it the next day streaming on Hulu. And until next time, bye.